where we review, discuss, and reimagine popular movie lists objectively. We're your hosts. I'm Jerry.
And I'm Brad. And on this episode, we're going to be exploring number 77 from AFI's 100 Years, 100 Passions, the 100 Greatest Love Stories of All Time.
All right, and number 77 is The Awful Truth. This was released in 1937, directed by Leo McCarey, starring Irene Dunne and Cary Grant.
The synopsis of this romantic comedy is as follows. Jerry Warner, played by Cary Grant, tells his wife he is vacationing in Florida, but instead spends the week at his New York City sports club. He returns home to find his wife Lucy, played by Irene Dunne, has spent the night with her music teacher Armand Duval, which she insists is because her car broke down. Lucy discovers Jerry's lie about his vacation. Their mutual distrust results in divorce, which will finalize in 90 days. Lucy moves into an apartment with her Aunt Patsy and her dog. She catches the eye of her amiable neighbor, Oklahoma oil man Dan Leeson. They begin dating, though his mother does not approve of Lucy. Jerry takes every opportunity while visiting the dog to subtly ridicule Dan, which causes Lucy to tie herself closer to him. Jerry begins dating singer Dixie Belle Lee, unaware of her embarrassingly sexually explicit nightclub act. Still convinced that Lucy has been having an affair with Duval, Jerry barges into his apartment only to find Lucy giving her first recital. Realizing he still loves her, Jerry attempts to reconcile, but discovers Duval hiding in her apartment. Their fistfight breaks out into the living room, where Dan and his mother are apologizing for assuming the worst about Lucy. The scene causes Dan to rescind his engagement, and he and his mother return to Oklahoma. Several weeks pass, and Jerry begins dating socialite Barbara Vance. Realizing she still loves Jerry, Lucy crashes a party at Barbara's mansion, pretending to be Jerry's sister. She undermines Jerry by implying they are working class rather than wealthy. Jerry tries to explain Lucy's behavior as drunkenness and drives her home. After repeated attempts by Lucy to sabotage the car, they are pulled over by cops who believe Jerry is drunk. While talking to police, Lucy manages to wreck the car. The cops give the couple a lift to Aunt Patsy's nearby cabin. Although they are in separate rooms, they come together and admit the awful truth that they still love each other, reconciling right before midnight when the divorce will be finalized.
I really like this movie.
I have a lot, like I was telling you, I have a lot of headcanon with this one. And I think there are a lot of modern themes in this movie that are really under the surface. So the first one for me is New York City Sports Club. I think that's code for, he goes out and sees men.
Well, don't they show him at the sports club?
No, not really.
Yeah, they do.
They show him talking to the guy, but to me that's code for okay, why not just go to Florida? You could play tennis and all that in Florida, but you go to the club in New York City. And the other thing, outside of of her, the two women that he's dating, he seems completely ambivalent towards.
Well, he is because he's still in love with her.
I know, but I'm just saying it's, he doesn't even kind of try to play it off. So the other interesting thing I think about this movie, and we talked about this after we saw it, is she never denies an affair with the teacher. She really doesn't.
No, she never comes out and says, no, I never did that.
You would think, if you were in a serious, committed relationship, yes, and your significant other
thinks you're sleeping around
and comes out and basically accuses you of it, if you were in fact innocent, and maybe even if you were innocent of it, you would say that's absolutely not happening. She does not say this.
She doesn't say it.
She really doesn't say it.
Even at the end.
Yeah.
When they're reconciling, she never.
No, and to me, this is 1937, and this relationship is to me, it's a classic example of two people who should probably be in an ethically non-monogamous relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
These two are hallmarks for people that should be in an open relationship. Like I said, I think he's likes the occasional man on the side, and she clearly, I think I think they show that she's attracted to the teacher, who's a pretty, this like good looking Italian dude.
Yeah.
French. Is he? Oh, you're right. He is French. So he has 6 to 1, half a dozen to the other, on which trope you want to play off as for the other guy.
They also could, you could say that maybe she didn't have the affair, but doesn't feel like she needs to explain herself.
There's that too, but I mean, I think she would at least say that. It's like, I don't need to explain myself to you.
Mm-hmm.
Your accusation is absolutely absurd, and I'm not going to even bother to give it an answer. She doesn't go there either.
No, and besides that, the dialogue and this movie is so witty.
Yeah.
It's so funny, and it's just, they have these little one-liners on each other.
They have
and
these,
it's so funny.
They have the kind of subtle digs that, to an outsider, probably seem a little bit mean. But when you're behind the curtain, like we do this sometimes, where we just we really razz each other, and it could get to the point where if like someone who doesn't really know us really well would kind of be like, holy crap, these two are like really going at each other. And to us, it's playful banter. We're just having a good time. We know the intentions behind it are to make the other person laugh.
Yes.
And I feel like that's what these two are doing a lot, where they're having this, they're used to having very witty repartee. It's part of their attraction to each other, is they're attracted to each other's minds.
And then they like to, they find, for example, they're at the dinner dance place, and she's gonna perform. His now girlfriend is gonna perform, and so it's like you just know all these digs are coming,
right?
Because
she is just like, you can kind of see her. She's just winding up. Like, oh, I'm gonna have so many things to say, and then when the thing actually comes out, you can kind of see it on her face. She's like, oh, this is even better than I thought.
Yes. It's so funny. It's such a funny movie.
And he has the same thing with the oil man. So the oil man's kind of played as this kind of this kind of stereotypical
Oklahoma boy.
Yeah, just a bit of a rube, a bit of a mama's boy, and not very, very bright.
And he's like, once you move to the farm and da-da-da, and Cary Grant's like, yeah, once you move to that farm, he's like, I can't believe you're even considering moving to a farm. You love New York. What are you doing?
Yeah, how ridiculous it is going to be with you wearing high heels on a farm.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. The chemistry between these two is really great. This is they were in 2 other movies after this. Yeah, I didn't realize that. So obviously, the chemistry works. Cary Grant typically has pretty good chemistry with whoever he's on screen with.
I've never seen this woman before.
Irene Dunn. This I think is her first feature.
Oh, okay.
And she was nominated for an Academy Award for it.
Wow, she was great. The only thing that kind of annoyed me was, I don't know if she was doing it on purpose or not, was her laugh. It was like this, ha 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 ha. She laughed like that. That was her laugh.
Yeah.
It's like, what is that?
Yeah.
But
this is a fun.
It's
fun,
a really fun movie, and it's funny. It's not going anywhere where you're like, oh no, is it gonna get weird? And it doesn't at all. It's just
it was only a little weird with my headcanon, because I'm like, because I'm just sitting there like, I really want to know it's not that weird to take separate. I mean, we take separate vacations. We do that.
Yeah.
But why did he change from, like, why did he tell her Florida and then just stick in town?
Yeah, that's weird. You're right.
That's a little strange to me. Like, that
is strange.
That feels like a hookup.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was a dude.
Yeah,
some reason.
it could be. Who knows?
I don't know why. I something about it. Just I got the vibe that like that was the thing they were trying to say in the story without actually saying it. And then with her, I'm pretty convinced that she probably did have an affair with the teacher, but at the same time, she's in love with him.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't about love, and like to me, like I'm saying, like there are a lot of couples that get themselves into trouble where they really should be in that kind of relationship, and they should really talk about it before they get together. You really like, especially in this day and age, you really have to sit down and
you have to be careful.
Discuss you have to discuss what your expectations are in a relationship, because ultimately, if you're someone who's not going to be satisfied or happy in a monogamous relationship and you get into one with someone is going to get hurt.
Yeah, for sure. So, it's a fun, cute movie.
It is.
It really is.
There's a lot of really funny stuff. The stuff with the dog is...
Oh, the dog is super cute.
He's this little Jack Russell, and
he's great.
He is so great on screen.
They use him as like a device and stuff, and it's just really good.
There's this whole sequence with Duval and Jerry's hats that is just, it's really, really funny, and it has to do with the dog, and there's just a lot of really, really great stuff. Yeah. Yep. So I gave this one a 65. Jerry gave it a 70. The list score is 67.5. So again, pretty high score. Yeah. We both really enjoyed this one.
It was a good movie, and I would like to kind of check out the other movies they were in together, because they had really good chemistry, and it was
I'm not sure they're love stories, so they might have to wait until we've watched, like, we got some new movies. We got like 75 more movies on the main list. We have watched at this point 50 something movies that didn't make the list that will be reconsidered, and we still have like probably like a good 60 more to watch, and we keep adding to it. She texted me the other day, she's like, add Don Juan DeMarco. I'm like, okay. So we keep adding to the list. The list just grows. We've probably added, like, since we started this, we had like a list, I think, of about 100 side movies, which has grown to like close to 200 at this point. Yeah. I think it's like...
We need to talk about how we're going to be doing that, but that's an offline conversation.
I've got ideas.
Let's take this conversation offline.
Let's put it in the parking lot and discuss it after the meeting.
All right. Well, please let us know if you've seen this movie, if you enjoyed it as much as we did. Please comment. Let us know if you didn't like it and why. Like and subscribe. And,
until next time, I'm Brad.
And I'm Jerry.
And we're rating the list.
Bye.
Bye.